Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rukakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach this truth and sincerity. And shout out to Yakim that's out there on four corners of the earth proclaim this truth. Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rukakadash, Barakatum. So, yeah, you can see though that the United States has not really pulled out of Syria, but what they're doing though is they're destroying the infrastructure of Syria upon their pullout. Yes, they are moving, but they're moving slowly. But they're making sure that the Syrian Arab Army cannot help out the PKK, aka the Syrian Democratic Forces, because pretty much they knew that their presence there, that there's no way that the Kurds would just automatically say, yeah, okay, well, yeah, we'll fight off the Turks, you know, we'll fight off Gomer, and you know, yeah, sure. No, man, they defected to the Syrian Arab Army, and the Syrian Arab Army was in fact going to help them in their call, because the United States has done this before. In Iraq, in particularly, remember Desert Storm at the very end of that war when the Kurds had rebelled against Saddam Hussein, and then Saddam Hussein led a slaughter against them, and George Bush did nothing to help them? Same thing here, pretty much. So they already know history repeats itself, so of course they went to Bashar al-Assad. They said, look, man, we need your help. So the U.S., you know, as a retaliatory method, had blown up the bridge so the Syrian Arab Army couldn't come over there. Of course, we're talking about the bridge at Deir ez-Zor, you know, which, you know, the elect of us already know what's going on over there. We weren't distracted by the bread and circuses, you know, these wicked feast days. Because if you're part of the elect and you've been in this truth for a while, you already know not to celebrate these things, not to be distracted by them. That they're not just wicked in the eyes of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, but also part of the bread and circuses, which is to keep you docile, not knowing what the hell's going on. So, you know, all that funding, while people are being distracted by the building of the wall, which is never going to happen. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but even if it did, though, that's the distraction, while Donald J. Trump went to Iraq and said, oh yeah, we're going to spend billions and billions of dollars in military equipment. You have the government shut down, and you spend billions and billions of dollars in equipment, and you have the best in the world. That's why your attack on Syria earlier this year, after the false flag, what did happen? Let's see, 83 of your Tomahawk cruise missiles were shot down by the Syrian defenses, and none of them really reached their targets. Maybe an ammunition depot at the most you hit, but the rest of them did not. No casualties were reported. And what did the people do in Damascus? They cheered, long live Assad. And Bashar al-Assad went back to work that morning inside the presidential building, you know, showing that it had no effect on him whatsoever, that Damascus still stands. And that, more than anything, is going to lead to Damascus being destroyed later, because Amalek, you know, ain't going to go away. You know that they're going to eventually do a nuclear strike against them. Why? Because that's just the least of their flock drawing them out into this war that they cannot win. So as America got chased out of Syria, now they're looking to occupy Iraq just so that way they can try to get into Iran, which is Persia. But yet, there's one that's in the way, better known as Gog and Magog. You know, Vladimir Putin, Russia, is arming these countries so they have a defense forces, and pretty much the S-400s, S-300s, and S-200s, by the way, that Tomahawk cruise missiles were shot down by S-200s. They weren't even the S-300s yet, but repelled the Tomahawk cruise missiles attack, the S-200s. So Bashar al-Assad's got some good shit now, and so does Turkey. And the U.S. is scared of that, but that's why, you know, everything that Donald Trump is saying is quite the opposite. In fact, they have the worst military, because take a good look, though. They're allowing homosexuals in the military, and they're allowing women in the military, you know. Other countries don't do this shit. Nah. So they're weak and they're feeble, and these other countries are now standing up. America's not used to this, you know, which is Babylon the Great in the scriptures. So Russia being a thou guard unto them, well, let's just go ahead and read it. Ezekiel chapter 38, starting in verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, And I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And the modern day swords, you know what they are. They're the guns, they're the bigger ones, S300s, S400s, S200s, S500s. Yeah, they have S500s. It's even bigger than the S400s. But all these countries now are possessing it. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. Because you know that Russia just recently made a deal with Libya, and Libya has also bought the S-400 systems. So they all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands. I was talking about Turkey. The house of Tagarma of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, thou, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. Be thou a guard unto him. We're just talking about Russia, Vladimir Putin. And that's what's happening now is... you know, pretty much the U.S. has been chased into Iraq now. After many days that thou shalt be visited in latter years, oh boy, here we go again. Here goes this devil, you know, crashing the app for the Bible. Pretty much they're being chased off, just like Isaiah 17 tells us that they would be chased off as a chaff, you know. And so we're seeing that happening. And in the meantime, though, more places are going cashless. You know, we know that Chili's is now pretty much cashless. And you see that all these other places already have those kiosks there. And eventually are going to get rid of cash. And we know that the microchip is going to replace credit cards. You know, they're going to give you all the credit in that chip. And then pretty much you ain't even got a life anymore. They'll just turn your chip off, you know, for anything. But pretty much once you've given over to that, you have no life anyways. You know, and you're just waiting for the day of destruction. That is the day that the 200 million nuclear missiles hit this place, making Babylon to be found no more. And that's coming right around the corner. Had a proud devil just comment on the previous video about how you know, it's going to turn, you know, that America is going to turn those cities like Syria, you know, with Iran and all that. You know, I said, oh, you a proud devil, huh? Well, you know that in retaliation, 200 million nuclear missiles is going to be destroying this place to where it be found no more. Nor will the Son of Man dwell in it, nor will the people be here, you know. And that's, of course, talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. Because only the elect of us are going to be found worthy to escape this place, you know. And, you know, you have that Edomite on YouTube begging for the birthright to get it back. But you can't get it back. You already sold your birthright. Your father... Esau sold you out. You ain't getting it back. And that's just it, though, is that you're not going to go down without a fight. That's what you've always done in the past, and that's what you're doing now. You know, you're going to do everything you can to try to stop this word, you know. You're taking down videos, you know, that tell the truth. You know, been doing that. But yet, you know, you'll show all kinds of pornography. You won't flag those videos. You won't take them down. But, you know, you'll take down brothers that tell the truth about what's going on. Trying to get this app to work again. After many days that thou shalt be visited in the latter years, that you shall come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which has been already waste. What's that talking about? Well, it could be talking about Iraq, you know, because... You know that ancient Babylon was destroyed there, and then you have Babylon the Great inside ancient Babylon, Iraq, which have always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and all of them that dwell safely, all of them, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm, thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou all many bands and many people with thee. You know, what's that talking about? That's talking about when he gathers his elect. Mostly from Babylon the Great, but all around the world. You know, he's going to gather his elect, and then that's it. Pretty much, it's a done deal. They even show you that in the game Cosmic Ark, which is quite interesting. It's an Atari 2600 game, which pretty much, you know, you play the big chariot, and then you come down and you rescue the people. You know, and you pretty much fight asteroids. It's a real easy game because it was Atari 2600, but I thought that was interesting in the name Cosmic Ark. You know, but they want everybody else to believe that, oh, those are just aliens from other planets, and those are alien UFO ships. Yeah, and alien just means foreigner, really, you know. And yet, that's just it, though, is that You know, many people are going to be quite surprised at the brightness of his coming. You know, and we're not to be dismayed at these things, because we know that if we're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and we're coming out here and teaching, and we're in maximum overdrive, we're going to be okay in that day. While all hell's breaking loose, you know. Government's shut down. It's probably going to be shut down for quite a while. All these people are working without pay. And it's fun to see, because we're just kicking back and we're relaxing while everybody else is losing their fucking mind. So for all that, I want to say, Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, Bracha Death to America and death to you 2/3.